God, we're here. We're
Home
back.
stretch.
I can't believe it.
This is the last time I'll ever be on this show.
Don't know that that's true, but it's the last time we'll be talking about Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 2.
Peacock streaming
Ex-Wives Club. It's true. We've made it to the end.
We made it.
How do you feel?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
You know how sometimes on these shows, especially now, they'll do what happens at the end and then they cut and it's like, what happened?
Yes.
Wouldn't it have been funny if they started this season with them all in a religious rapture and then they went, how did we get here?
Right, exactly.
Because that's how I felt at the end.
It did. It's like, wait, it came out of nowhere. I don't know why.
There was no lead up at all.
It became a religious thing with Jill, who is Jewish, and we're singing Christian gospel songs with Hezekiah Walker. Crying and be like, oh, this is the most spiritual experience.
If we had a million options, if someone said predict the end of the season,
yes,
there's no way that would have been on our list.
Because why would we? Because it doesn't make any sense.
It's never happened in the history of Housewives.
No.
Especially this show.
No.
And to your point, there's a Jewish person.
Yes.
I think most of the women don't seem religious.
They don't.
It was hilarious how bizarre the ending was.
I know. It was quite the bizarre ending. I didn't see it coming.
Did not see it coming. So I guess we give them credit for that.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes those old school housewives can give us twists and turns we don't see coming.
We did not see that coming.
Hezekiah Walker leading a worship. And then they all had we'll get to it, but the tambourines were shocking. The fact that no one could find the right beat, no one was clapping on the 2 and the 4. No one, even if you were going to do the 8th notes, nothing was right.
It's not the best argument for being moved by the spirit when you are seeming so offbeat with the spirit. You don't seem like you're really in the flow.
You're fighting with the spirit, actually.
That's the devil's work. Yes. The devil's beats.
Those were the devil's beats that were being played. So I will say the first time that the editors have made me laugh all season was when they said Bluestone College for Wives on pause in the opening. I thought that was funny. Enjoyed it. Phaedra and Dorinda want to end on a good note. They fast forward to Dorinda being an asshole to Brandy, which is, it's not an episode of this show if Dorinda's not being an asshole to someone. So there you go. Everyone's making their beds, brushing teeth. Tamara's mom wants to know if Steve's available now. Is Tamara's mom single? I don't know anything about Tamara's mom.
Yeah, she got plastic surgery. I think it was a part of the show. She's a fun lady.
Oh, great. Good for her.
Yeah.
Jill's making banana bread. Marco's itinerary is for Wednesday. So was this trip from last Thursday until this Wednesday?
We could probably do the math on it. I don't remember when Yom Kippur was this year,
Oh.
but probably.
I just am wondering, what was the production plan for that? Is this so that people could get cheaper flights?
Wait, on the Marco note. So, I was intrigued because he just didn't find his footing there at all.
Not once.
So, on his Instagram, first of all, the profile says, very much not a butler. He's an actor seeking representation.
Shock.
And then he did an anonymous Q&A thing. And he said, someone was asking about his experience. He said that he filled in for someone who dropped out last minute.
Right.
And that makes so much sense. He knew someone who knew someone. He didn't know anything about the show.
Right.
He felt humiliated when they ripped the shirt off. But to his credit, I don't think he knew at all what he was signing up for.
No, he didn't know who these people were. He had no idea what he was signing up for. And he was just I guess it's exposure. It's on a network.
He said he doesn't even drink. So that explains why he didn't know the wine should be chilled.
Right.
It all makes sense now.
It does.
Because I was so confused.
It was all very confusing. I will say the one Q&A answer that he was she never replaced my shirt and
Brandy
I never
ripping the shirt
here's
open.
my Venmo because she never did it and I didn't enjoy that and I was offended or hurt. You should see my face in that scene. It's all right, buddy, calm down. We get it. You're married. Whatever. This isn't really your thing. But this is fine. It's okay.
We're not going to contribute. Of all the causes in the world right now, Marco's button being ripped off, I think he's good.
No, not number one on my list.
No.
Brandy is still in her dress from the night before.
That was cool.
It was great. I mean, that's what you want to see. And Jill was very much walk of shame. But Brandy's what shame? And so it was we're not understanding each other, but I enjoyed the effort.
We were sort of the person sitting back going I see the disconnect. If I were in the situation, I would translate.
Exactly. If only I was there to translate for you two. Vicky, again, hates getting old. Everything changes. You can't see. Phaedra shows Tamara and Vicky how to wear turbans, which I'm
oh yeah, okay.
That was cute, fine. I did also Vicky has somewhat of a potato head, which
that
is
was funny.
Phaedra quote.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know, but I don't need to know. It's not for me to know. It's for Phaedra to tell me and for me to laugh. Banana of bread got ruined. Dorinda says, when I first came to New York, I wrote the things that I wanted in the father of my child. And then she transitions to foot fetishes, which I thought was like, oh, we're taking a left turn. I don't know. Maybe she was like, this isn't what she wants for the father of her child. Jill then had a masseuse that sucked her toe before, and it was
like
bad.
That story. I thought it was interesting.
My favorite part of the story was definitely Bobby being like, well, did you ask him to stop? And she's like, yes. Like, oh, well, there's no problem. You know,
we love Bobby.
There's a Bobby
Team
stand
Bobby.
podcast before anything. Because
I know.
He was just trying to have a good time.
He's a nice,
his...
secure man.
Yes.
He did not feel threatened by the toe suck.
No, just wanted to make his wife happy and comfortable and, you know, did what he had to do. Jill is taking everyone canoeing. She's the camp counselor for today. She had a bad experience at camp as a child because she was bullied by other girls, which, by the way, I must say, maybe I'm just a Jill sympathizer, as we've said. I think they're meaner to Jill than they should be on this show. Like the whole like, oh, you're so talkative, wrap it up, Jill. Like everyone's always, I don't know, I feel like she's the butt of the joke more often than I want her to.
I thought that was all said lovingly.
I mean, I guess maybe I'm also thinking about how their relationships with Jill are right now and how Tamara's mad that Jill spoiled the announcement about Tamara returning to Real Housewives of Orange County and Dorinda being on her side. And the thing about apparently there's an issue with Jill selling their likeness on her website, which has also become a thing. I just feel like they're hard on Jill in a way that I don't feel is warranted.
You know what I think was funny in this, also the beginning scenes here, is like the same way that Vicky and Tamara are with the turban, which is a towel.
Yes.
They are about the word locks. What is locks? And then they go downstairs and they see, is it baklava, which is baklava, but it was babka.
Yes.
The idea that anything these Gentile white women don't have in the like Germanic lexicon from ye old is exotic, understandable. They've chosen to make something so mundane, like weird, and it shows you everything about what kind of people these are. Like, just not even a refusal to like accept, like to have your mind boggled by locks is the energy that they bring.
Absolutely. I think this is why we asked if Vicky had ever met a black person before, because I feel like Vicky especially, but also Tamara a bit, the neutral is cis white Christian people.
Yes.
And anything outside of that bubble is like very much, like you said, exotic for them.
It
and
is.
They like try to make it, they can't even say the word Massachusetts. Like these people
I think it's weaponized incompetence.
Yes.
I think they make it weirder because they want it to be weird. They want the distance.
And do they want that distance just because they are racist and xenophobes and anti-Semitic, or are they just trying to be funny on television?
It's a good question.
I don't know what the motive is there.
I don't think it's from, they wouldn't label it as a place of like willful ignorance. I think it is like belief that their norm is normal. Like they have the norm. Yes. So I thought that was like just so revealing to me. How pathetic are you that you're like baklava? Like lame.
I agree with that. Brandy wants to make up with Taylor for good, so she goes in there. I thought this was nice.
What was with her hairline? There was a brown line, Brandy, and I couldn't tell if it was dye that had seeped into her head, if it was like a wig line. Her without the makeup and the wet hair, I was just, it was like staring at, the sun. I just couldn't see.
Was the line brown?
The line was brown. Okay. It was especially, I noticed, in the corner here. Okay. So her hair kind of starts here, but there's a brown potential skin where there's like a white geisha style makeup on the face, or is this brown? Like, is this her skin tone? Is this her skin tone? What was happening?
But it's like skin. It's not hair.
I don't know. Can people sound off in the comments? Was it skin or hair? Team skin or team hair?
Yes. If you're team skin or team hair, write in the comments. I didn't even notice it. I'm bad with like the physical things. I just thought, oh, there comes Brandy coming in to talk to Taylor for the 30th time.
She looked so interesting.
All right. I'll take another glance. I just feel like Taylor has fought so hard to make this story of like me and Taylor or me and Brandy have beef a thing for this entire trip. And I'm like, do you actually? It's been so long ago. It's based on Adrian Malouf, I guess, that you don't have a relationship with.
It's manufactured.
It's manufactured. It's very try hard. I mean, I know they love to call Jill thirsty, but Taylor is really, really fighting for this to be a feud. She's just holding on to it for dear life. She says, we both have a lot of similarities, as much as we both don't want to admit it. And Brandy's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you seem like a nice lady. Maybe we could be friends someday. I don't know. I've just found Taylor a bit exhausting. I think she's, if we did a ranking, which maybe we should do, I think she's near the bottom of mine.
The favorite.
Of my favorite housewives on this iteration. I'd put her, because the thing is, Dorinda was, of course, horrible this entire time, but she was giving us something in a way.
There's always got to be two rankings or a few with housewives. It's like good TV, good person, like want to be their friend. There's so many different varieties of ranking.
Totally.
And in terms of good TV and likability, I wouldn't put Taylor at either. So like sometimes you're like, oh, I don't like them, but da-da-da-da.
Yes.
I would say she's like a generally disposable character on the show.
Absolutely. Like, it's like, I am, of course, happy that she is no longer in her abusive relationship. I'm happy that her life has turned around in that way. But TV-wise, I felt like she gave us very little. And
it was sort of a manufactured drama.
Yes.
And it was a little too heavy-handed.
She fell a bit flat for me.
I think so.
Steve's moved his things out of the house in Kodo. Vicky says, I really thought he was going to want to be a family again.
Her unhappiness makes me so happy.
And it's also just like, I guess fiance, but like, would you say you were a family with Steve and like his kids and
this
Brianna?
Is again like, we're talking about like the Bobka thing. It's like, is she faking some of this?
I wonder. And the thing is, the fact that she couldn't tell she was crying. She's like, I'm not crying, am I? It's like, you know when you're crying.
I think she was playing a character, right?
I hope so.
Unless they do genuinely have so much like work done that they don't feel their face anymore. They can't tell.
Those are the two options. She says her future's very undecided right now. I love when they get to the canoes that Jill says, I love to kayak. And then the canoe lady's like, it's a canoe. And it's like, and Jill's like, no, well, it's like a combo kayak/canoe. And the kayak lady says, no. Or the canoe lady, excuse me.
This scene was so funny.
It was amazing.
Because she gives them instructions on how to paddle. And Vicky's like, yeah, we got it.
I did like that.
That was peak Vicky.
That was really good. It's like, yeah, we could figure that out. There's, of course, the obvious dick jokes regarding the paddle because the grip.
I rolled. You can see that from so far away.
You could see it from a million miles away. And honestly, every time I see one of these kind of like dick or sexual jokes, I'm like, fucking LVP. If she had not started this on Housewives of Beverly Hills and gotten such a good reaction, we wouldn't be dealing with these obvious fucking jokes so long after.
But what made that funny was that her husband had like a dead penis. So it had some angle on it. This is just like, oh, an oar looks like a penis and the words are the same.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it was. They go as duos. It's Phaedra and Jill, Tamara, Vicky, Eva, Brandy, and Taylor and Dorinda. Dorinda says this, when I watch people do new things like canoeing, I always wonder what they're like in bed. Why?
She doesn't.
She doesn't. She's just talking. Jill is trying to teach people canoeing from her canoe. And Vicky and Tamara screams, shut up, Jill, which I found rude. Again, I'm an apologist. But like, leave Jill alone. They then post canoeing. Jill plays a word association game and all the words about a person. Jill over-explains it a bit and they're mean to her about it. She talks about playing with her family multiple times. They're mean about it. Jill's most often word was, of course, talkative. Phaedra got mysterious and kind, which I love the flashbacks that Phaedra being an
just fully
absolute
not
monster.
Kind. Mysterious was just because she doesn't talk that much.
Yes, just because she's trying not to give up any of her life. Mm-hmm. Dorinda got regal, which I thought was kind.
She loves that.
She loves that.
Princess Diana in her mind.
Vicky got, she really is. That's the haircut. Mm-hmm. Vicky got firm. Eva got zen, and Taylor got secretly sexy, which Brandy notes is actually 2 words. And Brandy gets misunderstood.
Okay.
Sure, Vicky also gets self-involved and takes it as a compliment.
Well, here's the thing. She made a good point here.
Yeah.
I will, to defend her, she kind of misunderstood what the intention is behind saying that.
For sure.
In a way that's self-involved to have it serve her.
Yes.
But she said something that I agree with, which she's like, if no one else is involved with me, who else is involved with me?
Honestly,
I can be self-involved.
Should be.
So I don't think that's wrong, but it is fully diagnosably probably a narcissist way of reading any, dig as like fully either a compliment or, no self-awareness.
No,
not self-aware.
You can't take the note.
Can't take the
note.
note.
You can't. You got to spin it. So would you say at this point, you to Vicky is like me to Jill? Just like acting them.
No, oh my God, no.
I know, I'm kidding.
Oh my God, I fully, oh my God.
I didn't mean for that to
Oh
upset
my
you
God.
so much. I thought we both knew it was a joke.
Okay.
Could you explain a scene to me?
Yeah.
When they're riding back and Dorinda hides Phaedra's sweater in the car, but then it's like, oh, here it is. Why is that funny? And why does this mean that Tornado is back? I truly watched this episode twice and both times was like, didn't even know what I was looking at.
Did you watch it all the way through twice?
The first time I was baking the bed and like doing other things. The second time I had to take the notes.
And thank you for that labor.
Yeah.
I think they're all just idiots.
Okay.
And at that point,
okay.
Look at.
That's fine. Maybe I'm putting too much into it.
Yeah.
But because I didn't get it. I'm like, this isn't funny.
No.
Doesn't mean anything.
No.
They then go to the Shaker Village and Brianna is handing out champagne to the ladies and knows everyone's names, which is nice. I wonder if she's a Housewives fan or just good at her job.
Marco
didn't know their name. They would shake out all their demons in the past, I guess. And Phaedra said they were Pentecostal about the Shakers. Dorinda should be a tour guide in Canada. And Brandy says, in a completely innocuous way to me, just don't yell at the people that go on the trip. Like, this is a funny joke. We're all having fun together, whatever. Dorinda, of course, gets very mad and says, well, just don't get too drunk and show your ass in someone else's home. Didn't pull my shirt up.
She's like the Tinsley. Just the you
Absolutely.
are going to find your one
Yes.
and you're going to go at her.
Whatever she says, it's going to be combative.
And we have had, I feel it's a familiar dynamic to me.
Yes.
I've had friendships where I can feel that. Where it's like, wow, literally whatever I say to this person, they are ready to come at me.
Didn't you just meet a person like this?
Yeah, I know. It's funny because I met them and the first conversation.
Yeah.
So I was saying something about Save the Last Dance. We're talking about Save the Last Dance. I just met this person. We don't even know each other's names. And I was like, oh yeah, because Julia Stiles invented hip hop. And she goes, what did you say? And I couldn't tell if she was kidding because I was so clearly kidding.
Right.
And I was like, I'm just kidding. And then I was talking about wine country, and I came for Napa's superiority or something.
Right.
I was such a stupid. I was having a conversation with someone about where they were going to go.
Pissed.
How dare you say blah blah blah? And then the funny thing is, I left early, and when she found out I was leaving, went, "You're leaving?" It's just truly that's the example of anything I do. You don't want me here. You don't want me gone.
Right.
You don't want me talking. You don't want me not talking. And
Real
that's Dorinda and Brandy. And I can feel that dynamic where you're just like. It's not Brandy's not doing anything.
Really, that's the thing, and it's not often that you can say Brandy did not instigate this, but she really didn't.
The bathroom thing is funny here too, because at one point Dorinda goes to the bathroom, and then they cut. The editing is funny. Did you use hand sanitizer? And they just cut to her fully eating her soup. I was hoping they get a shot. I know they wanted a shot for ripping a bread or serving it to someone else.
They did. And again, at this point, I just am like, this woman should stay on pause. I actually don't need her on Legacy. I realize it'd be a good.
We listened to another podcast about Housewives, and the person that was a guest was surprised to hear Andy say, also, Dorinda was put on pause. It's been established. Yeah. That's Dorinda's not, I just want to establish, Dorinda's not crazy for saying that phrase.
No, she's not.
She was told she was put on pause.
Right.
And I think that this was her chance to prove her worthiness to return, whatever. All this stuff is so stupid. But I think that was the motivating factor for her throughout. And so I just want to clarify, she's not wrong.
No, she's not wrong. The word used when she was fired was you're being put on pause.
And the other women didn't get that.
They didn't. And
so
I don't think that's wrong.
We can't use that about all the women.
But I think I do have a feeling, I kind of agree with Brandy that it's on pause or fired, you're not getting a check. You can call it what you want, but you're not in a better position than anyone else here. Tamara got rehired before Dorinda did.
I don't agree.
I feel like if she was on pause before, she could be fired now.
I think there were specific terms to the on pauseness that there isn't to a firing.
But there's not even a Roni show for her to go back to now. She could be on Legacy.
She couldn't have anticipated.
Yeah, she couldn't anticipate. She's obviously more in with Andy and Bravo than the rest of them are. She has a show on Andy's Radio Andy. But I think this was a test. If she was just going to be put on pause and definitely coming back, she wouldn't have to do a test. She wouldn't have to go on the show and do something. Because now people dislike her more than ever. I could see her not coming back in a way that I couldn't before.
But she has not misconstrued her conversations. I don't think she was fired the rest of them the way the rest of them were.
If she's not going to check, she's fired. I'm with Brandy. We'll have to agree to disagree.
It's like getting laid off versus fired. Because like when you're laid off in theory, isn't it like we might hire you back? That's like what they're saying.
I think they're saying like, I don't think they're saying we might hire you back. It's more like we have to do this.
We have to do this. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
I get you. Okay. Okay.
So I think Dorinda was lording that over. I don't believe she was lying. She definitely was told those words, but I thought the lording over with it was not my favorite. What else is happening? And the thing is, Eva says it in her confessional. Dorinda does yell. Like, that's, I don't understand why this whole Brandy thing became a thing. And then the whole, like, in someone's home, the fact that she had the upper leg being at Bluestone Manor, annoying. Everyone goes to the bathroom. It's a million miles away. They go around, and then once they get to the table, and then Dorinda, like, reviews everyone, kind of. She's like, Tamara and Vicky, like, what a duo. You really love each other. And Vicky's sensitive, and Jill wants to make it nice. They hug. They also say Eva should have been a therapist. I'm like, oh.
No.
I also like didn't realize that because Taylor at some point says that Eva was instrumental in getting her and Brandy to get back together. I'm like, was she? Did we see any of that?
I don't think so.
I don't think that either.
I think the flaw of these short shows is that you have 3 days of getting to know each other and then 3 days of summarizing.
Yes.
And so now we're in the phase where everyone's just like, well, you did this and you're this to me and this is what we did. And it's like the percentage of the show,
right.
It's too much summarizing.
I agree. By the end, it's like you wanted more like movement of the dynamic.
That's how I felt.
Versus like, let's discuss how
there
we
was
got
maybe
here.
like one peak and then it was all like coming down that mountain or whatever.
Right. Tamara, before they got here, had Instagram stalked everyone. Brandy tried, but Tamara had her blocked. Brandy and Dorinda hug. Vicky says if we do it again, it should be on neutral ground, which I agree with. Then Phaedra gives out autographed prayer books from the prayer book she read from at the winery and Bibles to everyone.
Jill was very respectful.
Jill could not have been more
She
respectful.
was really gracious and kind.
To a point where I'm like, would I, if I were Jill in that scenario, have been as respectful? I don't know.
I wonder if it's the optics of it. You can't be the one who's like,
this is weird.
but I genuinely took it as what it was, which was like, she's open-minded.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Hezekiah Walker comes out to do a blessing and performance. And this, again, a left turn we didn't see coming. This was the most like, oh, I guess we're ending on a religious high. Hezekiah Walker says, the world loves what you do. So do I, to these women he's never heard of before. Like, what does that mean? How do you love what they do? Let me please dig deeper into that. Which is your favorite Roni season, Hezekiah Walker? Please.
Then the song is about
It will get better.
what will get better.
Life. All
From
of that.
what?
I also
Doing
love,
what?
Are we just assuming that this show that we're all on is like everyone's low point because they've been fired and they're together?
Right, was that it'll get better from having been fired?
I don't know.
They were crying.
People were really feeling
And then
it.
he was saying things about like you could have all the fame and the money but not be happy, and they're
Yes.
crying. I was like, are we missing? Are they editing it in a way where we're not getting the emotion? Because I was like, this isn't doing it.
No, I was more confused because it's like, are we assuming that they do have the peace in their heart, unlike other housewives that are still on their show? Like, or am I overthinking this?
I don't know what was going on.
It was really...
It was wild.
It was
and
wild.
then the dancing, the offbeat dancing and the tambourine playing was shocking. And
Upsetting.
do you think, how long do you think that song went on for?
I think longer than...
I think it went on for a while.
I think for a while because we had to get shots of them watching the song, had to get shots of them participating.
They probably got a few setups. They did
Yes.
a few times. And then
Yeah.
also, like, with stuff like that, I feel like they want to keep it going longer to get more and more reaction.
Totally.
So I want to say they were dancing like that for like an hour.
That's a long time.
I think it was a long time.
It was a shock.
They were like delirious by the end. I couldn't believe it. That was so weird.
It was wild to see, truly. Everyone has got to work on their rhythm, the clapping, the tambourine's bad. Then there's the last morning goodbye. Jill thanks Marco. And I guess Marco did say in his Instagram stories that Jill and Dorinda were the ones that he like connected with the most.
In terms of connected, talk to.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think
think
the other people talked to him.
I think so.
But I thought like truly such an anticlimactic end.
I mean, yes, the rest of the morning, like Eva's trying to pack her bag. It's Phaedra to sit on it. Jill says she doesn't know if she could do this ever again. Dorinda eats a pizza in her bed the night before, which we flash back to. Phaedra says she'll maintain a relationship with all the ladies. And then as they're hugging goodbye, Dorinda says, what? We did make it nice. And it's like, I will kill you. I will kill you. I will kill me. I can never hear this phrase again for the rest of my life. No, 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 no. Everyone says they would do it again except for Eva, which really made me laugh. I like that Eva's like, I have other irons in the fire. That was fun. That's it. No thanks.
Smartly, because you've gotta, this can't be your one thing. And that, I think, is the point of the show, to show what happens to people who get too invested in a bad relationship, in a bad work situation, a friendship. This is all a message to let things go, to move on.
It's fine.
Your life is bigger than the thing you think defines you.
Exactly.
It gets better for me.
I agree with that. And yes, because the last thing you want to do is end up being like these ladies and be clamoring for your former glory.
And your former face. And your former crap relationship. Your former whatever. Like, move forward.
The ladies who came across the best were the ones that were fired from the show long ago. And
they have established at least some sense of like, they're fine without it. The past is the past. We move forward.
Exactly. If you were going to do TV-wise, good TV-wise, your cast rankings, what would they be? We didn't prepare this. If you want me to go first while you think, I can go.
Well, it's like so varied by episode because I think in the beginning I would have said Dorinda, but maybe I would say like Phaedra in terms of like watchability.
Totally.
What would you say?
I would say Phaedra in terms of watchability. Phaedra Confessionals for sure. Eva was much better on this show than she ever was in Atlanta, so I enjoyed that. We all know my feelings about Jill. And I mean, maybe this is just me having not watched OC before, but I will say I did not expect to enjoy Vicky as much as I did over the course of the show, especially as it got going. She would have little funny asides, and it's all based in delusion and insanity.
And having COVID.
I realize she's an anti-masker, anti-vaxxer. There's nothing to support about this woman. And she was
truly like low energy.
Yeah.
So that, in a way, helps.
Maybe it helps
because if you saw her at a 10 when she's fully healthy, I don't know if you would feel that way. Because it's very different, I will say. Okay. It's very different.
And I truly thought Brandy did all right. I thought she was enough of a shit stirrer, but also seemed like calm in herself in a way that she wasn't by the end of her time on Beverly Hills. And I was like, you know what? That was fine. I don't need her back on her show.
No.
But I thought, like, you did a good job here.
I'd say my earth wasn't shattered by anybody. There wasn't any like, wow, I didn't know that. I'd say work-wise, facial-wise, Dorinda looks the best. Like, without makeup, she just fully looks like beautifully filled,
and
but
like
not too
herself.
much. And like herself.
For sure.
And like her age, like she just looked very good.
She did.
And then beyond that, everyone else has just so much work done. And it's like, I'm not going to ever blame them. I'm going to blame the fact that the society we created makes them feel like they need to do this to themselves.
Yeah, it's true. And I know we kind of touched on this in a previous episode, but just to confirm, they're filming season 3 of Thailand now, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip 3, which is in Thailand. Like, I think it has something to do with friends or something, but I don't know what the theme is really. The cast is Giselle, Candace, Marisol, Alexia, Heather, Whitney, Leah, and it was going to be Tinsley from New York. She dropped out last minute because she had like other commitments. There's a rumor that, which I started essentially, that she's on Legacy and they're filming that. That's probably not true, but she did drop out and was replaced with Portia Williams. This is interesting because Candace and Portia have had like beef between them on their other shows because Portia and Monique are friends, and that whole, Portia obviously had a physical altercation on her show and was very much backing Monique up in her physical altercation with Candace. So I'm interested to see if that comes up. I'm sure
I wish it was Karen Huger.
I do too. I like Karen and Giselle would be
That's what I want to watch.
That's the duo. I wonder why that didn't happen because it seems like they're the obvious, like, matriarchs of that show. Karen must have said no for some reason. I don't know why. But
that's like, that dynamic is my favorite on Bravo.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. That they keep that's the thing. Potomac's been on for a while at this point, and it's still very enjoyable because of the two of them.
Yes. I love them.
They're great. I'm excited for them, and I'm excited for Portia to be back on our screens because I don't know, you didn't watch her spinoff, did you?
I did.
Woo! If you want to see someone who you love come off really poorly, watch Portia's spinoff. Like, she's fully the villain on that show after coming off of a season where she's taking on like civil action, like responding to the Black Lives Matter movement on Atlanta in such a beautiful way. And she gets on that show of her own and truly makes her ex her, I don't know, ex-fiance, Dennis, look so much better by comparison every single episode. So I think this is kind of, let's get fans back to liking Portia before we bring her back to Atlanta. Because, like, I feel like her leaving was her decision and not something that was going to last forever. But the spinoff did not help. So I'm excited. We'll see what happens in Thailand, I guess. Is there anything else you want to tell the people as we wrap up our time? Recapping Rucht.
Right now is a great time to get involved in assault weapon bans.
Yes, I agree.
HR 1808 right now is going from the House Judiciary Committee to the House of Representatives and then the Senate, and this historic vote. So if you haven't called your reps or your senator to express your support, it's a really crucial time. And follow March the 4th. Yeah. Is this what we're supposed to be promoting?
Yeah, that's the big. Hey, I think that's a great promotion. I think it ties in so seamlessly to the Housewives universe.
Literally, it's like the way that their show ends with like the rapturous dancing. Ours just fully ends with a political stump speech.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Everyone listening, make sure to do those things because it's very important. As you know, the world is fucking falling apart. So every little positive action
that you can do will make you feel better about this horrible world. And Matt, and follow 2K Matt.
Yes, follow 2K Matt. Follow Janie Fierce everywhere you can.
It's a dark time on my timeline.
You have emotions, and they're
I have
think
emotions. That's right.
Well, thank you guys all so much
Thank
for
you
watching.
for going on this journey with us.
I know. I hope this was as fun for you as it was for us.
This ultimate gaze trip.
Yes, that's pretty good.
We should have done that.
Too late.
Oh my God, literally.
Why did no one think of that until the final moment?
It's so good. UGT would have been...
Well, next time. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. We'll be back soon with more 2K Mets. Bye.